The story opens with Jack Malone, a solitary cowboy riding across the vast sun-scorched plains of New Mexico. The late 1800s landscape stretches endlessly, with jagged mesas and sparse vegetation, reflecting the emptiness that mirrors Jack's own life. A man of few words, Jack is rugged, hardened by years of solitude and survival in a world that has often turned its back on him. His horse, a sturdy bay named Dusty, moves with a steady rhythm, carrying him across the unforgiving terrain. Jack's past is hinted at in fragments: a failed love, a betrayal by friends, and battles fought over both justice and survival, but the details remain vague, adding to his aura of mystery. As he rides, Jack notices an unusual wisp of smoke curling into the pale morning sky, a sharp contrast against the otherwise clear desert horizon. The smoke is too localized to be from a distant settlement and too sudden to be a natural fire. A sense of curiosity, combined with an instinctive wariness, urges him to investigate. He knows from experience that isolated smoke in these parts often signals trouble, sometimes violence, sometimes a human in desperate need. Jack's horse slows as they approach the source, ears pricked and sensing danger. Jack arrives at a small, weather-beaten cabin standing alone amidst the dusty terrain. The structure appears abandoned at first glance, yet something about it feels disturbingly wrong. The door hangs crooked on its hinges, splintered wood suggesting forced entry, while one window is shattered, glass fragments glittering faintly in the sun. The air around the cabin carries a strange mix of smoke, charred wood, and a faint metallic tang that Jack instinctively recognizes as danger. Every step he takes toward the cabin heightens his senses. He notices footprints partially obscured in the dirt and the telltale signs of a struggle: scattered furniture, broken objects, and faint stains on the floor. Inside, the silence is almost oppressive. Dust motes float in shafts of light, disturbed only by Jack's cautious movements. His instincts tell him that someone has recently been here, someone whose presence might still be dangerous. As he explores, the cabin reveals more unsettling details: scorch marks on the walls, remnants of burned papers, and a scorched fireplace suggesting a hasty attempt to destroy something important. Jack pieces together a story from these clues: a violent confrontation, a hurried escape, or perhaps a sinister threat left behind. The first part establishes the tone of the story: eerie, suspenseful, and filled with tension. It also introduces Jack not just as a cowboy, but as a man shaped by isolation, experience, and a strong moral compass. His curiosity, bravery, and instinct for survival set the stage for the discovery that will change his life. The reader senses that this lone trail ride is no ordinary journey. It is the prelude to a deeper mystery, one that involves danger, secrecy, and a life hanging in the balance. The final moments of this part leave the reader on edge, anticipating the shocking discovery awaiting Jack in the shadows of the cabin. As Jack Malone steps cautiously into the cabin, the oppressive silence is broken only by the creak of the old floorboards beneath his boots. His eyes adjust to the dim interior, scanning for threats, signs of life, or further destruction. Amid the debris of shattered furniture and burned remnants of paper, a chilling sight catches him off guard. Hanging from a rope tied to a beam in the ceiling is a blonde woman, her body swaying slightly and her face pale with fear and exhaustion. Jack's instincts kick in immediately. Though the scene is horrifying, he approaches cautiously, assessing whether she is alive and whether this is a trap. The woman, later revealed as Evelyn Hart, is barely conscious. Her delicate frame is bound with ropes that cut into her wrists, leaving red welts, and her dress is torn and singed in places. Her blonde hair, tangled and dusty, hangs around her face, partially obscuring her wide, terrified eyes. Despite the trauma she has endured, there is a spark of resilience in her gaze. She murmurs disjointed words, almost inaudible: Apache lover and burned letters. Though Jack cannot yet make sense of her murmurs, he recognizes that they are clues to a story far larger than the immediate horror. Jack moves with deliberate care, pulling his knife from its sheath and cutting the ropes with precise, practiced motions. Dusty, his horse, stands outside, restless but calm, sensing the urgency of the moment. As the rope falls away and Evelyn collapses into Jack's arms, he notices the shallow, uneven rise of her chest. She is alive, but fragile. Using his knowledge of first aid, Jack tends to her injuries, loosening the bindings, cleaning minor cuts, and applying makeshift bandages from torn fabric. His hands are steady and confident, revealing his experience with survival in crisis. Yet there is an underlying tension. He knows their safety is not guaranteed and that whoever targeted her may still be nearby. Evelyn's delirious words are fragmented but intriguing. She speaks of Apache lover, a man whose identity seems intertwined with her plight, and references letters that were burned to prevent certain secrets from being revealed. Jack senses the importance of these burned letters even without knowing the full story. They seem to carry a dangerous truth, the kind that people would kill to protect. Her murmurs hint at betrayal, forbidden love, and secrets that could shake the foundations of the community they live in. Jack realizes that Evelyn is both a victim and a keeper of knowledge, a fragile link to a past she barely remembers in full. The cabin, once silent and eerie, now carries a different energy. The immediate threat may be temporarily subdued, but tension hangs in the air like smoke. Jack, instinctively aware of the dangers surrounding them, knows they cannot linger. He offers Evelyn water and reassures her in a calm, authoritative voice. Though she is too weak to respond coherently, the trust between them begins to form an unspoken bond built on necessity, courage, and mutual reliance. This part establishes the central mystery of the story. The discovery of Evelyn transforms Jack's solitary journey into a perilous adventure. The scene is designed to evoke suspense, shock, and intrigue while also deepening character development. Jack as the protector, resourceful and morally grounded, and Evelyn as a mysterious, resilient figure with a dangerous past. The lingering questions about the Apache lover and the burned letters set the stage for a journey filled with danger, revelation, and moral complexity. After the tense and traumatic discovery in the cabin, Jack Malone takes Evelyn Hard to a slightly safer location nearby, a secluded canyon where Dusty can graze and they can rest without immediate threat. Evelyn, still weak and disoriented, struggles to articulate the fragmented memories that haunt her mind. Her murmurs about Apache lover and burned letters become more coherent, revealing tantalizing hints of a story layered with danger, betrayal, and forbidden love. Jack listens carefully, sensing that these fragments are the key to understanding why someone wanted her dead and why the letters were so crucial. Evelyn explains in broken and hesitant sentences that the letters she possessed were written by a man she calls Apache lover, a figure both notorious and enigmatic. He was part outlaw, part vigilante, with a complex past entangled in love, revenge, and political intrigue. The letters contained confessions of crimes committed, names of powerful individuals involved in illegal dealings, and even hints of forbidden relationships that crossed societal boundaries. Evelyn's voice trembles as she recounts moments from the past, secret meetings in moonlit canyons, whispered warnings, and clandestine attempts to expose corruption. Though much of the content was destroyed in a fire set by someone trying to erase this dangerous evidence, fragments of the letters survived in her memory and the small, partially burned scraps she had managed to hide. The story of the burned letters is central to the tension of this part. Each letter was not just paper, but a piece of a puzzle that connected outlaws, settlers, and corrupt officials. They detailed how the Apache lover sought justice for crimes committed against both Native Americans and marginalized settlers, revealing a moral ambiguity that challenged conventional notions of right and wrong. Evelyn recalls moments when she read passages aloud to herself, memorizing names and instructions, understanding that her life would be in danger if these letters were discovered. The fire that destroyed most of the letters was not accidental. It was a deliberate attempt by powerful enemies to silence both the author and the messenger. Jack, ever the pragmatic cowboy, begins to piece together the implications. He understands that Evelyn is not merely a victim but also a guardian of a dangerous truth. The burned letters represent a threat to those who wish to keep their past crimes hidden, and by saving Evelyn, Jack has unwittingly become entangled in a conflict much larger than himself. As Evelyn recounts snippets of the letters, she reveals cryptic names, locations, and coded warnings, hinting at betrayal and vengeance that spans communities. Each revelation deepens the mystery, making it clear that the danger surrounding them is far from over. Beyond the intrigue, this part also deepens the bond between Jack and Evelyn. Jack provides protection and reassurance, while Evelyn begins to rely on his calm authority and practical skills. Their trust is tentative but growing, a necessary alliance in a world where every shadow could conceal a deadly threat. The atmosphere of Part 3 is one of suspense, moral complexity, and mounting tension. The audience begins to grasp the stakes of the story. The letters. Secrets are powerful enough to endanger lives, and the pursuit of truth is intertwined with personal loyalty, courage, and sacrifice. By the end of this part, readers understand that the story is no longer just about survival. It is about uncovering hidden truths, confronting moral ambiguity, and navigating a web of danger, with the burned letters serving as the elusive key to justice, revenge, and forbidden love. Jack and Evelyn's journey has become a high-stakes chase for truth, where every clue could either save them or lead to their doom, with Evelyn's heart still fragile but slowly regaining strength. Jack Malone knows that staying in one place is far too dangerous. Whoever attacked her and attempted to destroy the burned letters is likely still hunting them, and the isolated cabin offers no safety. Jack decides they must leave immediately, taking a cautious route toward the nearest settlement. The journey marks the beginning of a tense and perilous pursuit where every decision carries life or death consequences. As they travel, the harsh landscape of the New Mexico desert tests their endurance. The sun beats down mercilessly, turning the sand and rocks into an unforgiving terrain. Dusty, Jack's horse, moves steadily through the rough trails, guided by Jack's experience in reading the land. He avoids the main roads, knowing that trackers could be waiting along predictable paths. Evelyn struggles to keep pace, her injuries slowing her down, but Jack encourages her, supporting her physically when necessary and sharing his water and provisions. Their dependence on one another strengthens their bond, blending trust with necessity. During the journey, Evelyn begins to piece together more of her memories. She recalls fleeting glimpses of the Apache lover, a man who had risked everything to right wrongs and protect those he loved. She remembers moments of closeness with him, hidden exchanges of letters, and secret warnings of danger. Her fragmented recollections are both poignant and mysterious, revealing a past filled with moral complexity and forbidden love. Jack listens quietly, offering protection and counsel, but he also senses that Evelyn's memories may contain vital clues to outmaneuvering their pursuers. Every story she shares is a piece of a larger puzzle, and Jack begins to understand that the chase is not only about survival. It is about uncovering the truth behind a conspiracy that spans communities. As they make their way through narrow canyons and across open plains, Jack notices signs that someone is following them. Footprints in the soft sand, the distant glint of metal in the sun, and the occasional flicker of movement among the rocks suggest that they are being tracked by a skilled adversary. The threat is tangible, increasing the urgency of their journey. Jack teaches Evelyn basic survival skills: how to read the terrain, recognize signs of pursuit, and remain alert to potential ambushes. Though she is frightened, she demonstrates surprising courage, showing that her resolve matches Jack's experience and determination. This part also deepens the narrative tension as the stakes grow higher with every mile traveled. The burned letters, which Evelyn has only partially reconstructed from memory, are the key to exposing a dangerous secret that powerful figures want buried. The pursuit becomes a race not only against time but against a relentless and cunning enemy. Jack and Evelyn's journey is no longer just a physical trek, it is a psychological and emotional test, challenging their resilience, loyalty, and courage. By the end of this section, the reader understands that the hunt has truly begun. The road ahead is fraught with peril, but Jack and Evelyn are united in purpose. Each step forward brings them closer to uncovering the truth about the Apache lover, the burned letters, and the people willing to kill to hide their past. Part 4 transforms the story from a suspenseful rescue into an urgent chase, filled with strategy, danger, and the slow, fragile formation of trust between two people bound by circumstance and a shared sense of justice. As Jack Malone and Evelyn Hart continue their tense journey through the rugged New Mexico landscape, the story delves deeper into the haunting shadows of the past. Each canyon they traverse and each desert ridge they cross seems to whisper fragments of history tragedy, betrayal, and long-forgotten secrets that are intertwined with the mysterious figure known only as the Apache lover. Evelyn's memories, though fragmented, begin to reveal the complexity of the man whose letters she carries and the dangerous legacy that surrounds him. Evelyn recalls the first time she encountered the Apache lover, a man whose life was defined by both love and vengeance. Once a respected member of his community, he became an outlaw after being betrayed by those he trusted most: settlers who stole land from his people, and government officials who turned a blind eye to injustice. His letters were a testament to his dual existence, part romantic confession, part manifesto of rebellion. Each letter not only chronicled his feelings for Evelyn, but also documented crimes, injustices, and plans to expose those responsible. The fragments of these letters that survive the fire paint a vivid picture of a man driven by passion and morality, yet willing to bend the law to achieve justice. During their journey, Jack and Evelyn stumble upon remnants of the Apache lovers' past abandoned campsites, weathered markings on rocks, and messages carved into the desert stone. Each discovery serves as a clue, a breadcrumb trail left by a man who understood the danger of his knowledge. Evelyn begins to connect these clues to her own memories, recalling moments when the letters spoke of betrayal by those she thought she could trust. These shadows of the past reveal a moral ambiguity that complicates the narrative. The Apache lover is both a hero and an outlaw, a savior for some and a threat to others. This complexity challenges Jack's black-and-white understanding of right and wrong, forcing him to confront his own moral code. As they piece together this history, Jack and Evelyn also face immediate threats from those who wish to recover or destroy the remaining letters. The pursuit intensifies, with their adversaries employing cunning tactics, such as leaving false trails and staging ambushes. Jack's survival skills are put to the test as he navigates treacherous terrain, anticipates traps, and protects Evelyn from both environmental dangers and human threats. Their journey becomes a delicate balance of strategy, caution, and courage, heightening the suspense of the narrative. Throughout this part, the psychological weight of the past begins to affect both characters. Evelyn struggles with guilt and fear, realizing that her survival and the survival of the letter's secrets carries the potential to ignite further violence. Jack, meanwhile, begins to understand the depth of Evelyn's connection to the Apache lover and the emotional burden she carries. Their mutual reliance deepens, not just for physical survival, but for understanding the intricate web of history, betrayal, and justice that defines their quest. By the end of Part 5, the story has shifted from a perilous chase into a profound exploration of legacy and morality. The shadows of the past loom large, influencing every decision and every step forward. The Apache lover emerges as a figure of enigmatic power, whose deeds and letters shape the narrative and foreshadow the challenges yet to come. Jack and Evelyn are no longer merely fugitives. They are participants in a moral reckoning, navigating a landscape where history, justice, and danger intersect in unpredictable ways. As Jack Malone and Evelyn Hart press forward on their perilous journey, the tension escalates to a breaking point in Part 6, The Ambush. Their careful navigation of the desert landscape and evasive maneuvers seem to have provided a temporary sense of security, but the relentless pursuit by those determined to retrieve the burned letters is far from over. Jack, ever vigilant, notices subtle signs that their enemies are closing in, footprints in the sand that match the gait of armed riders, faint glimmers of metal from distant reflections, and disturbances in the otherwise undisturbed landscape. These signs confirm that the hunters are skilled, patient, and ruthless, an adversary that will not hesitate to kill to achieve their objective. The ambush occurs in a narrow canyon at dusk, where shadows stretch long and the fading light creates a natural cover for both predator and prey. Jack quickly recognizes the tactical advantage his pursuers have gained, but his experience in survival and combat prepares him to respond. Evelyn, though exhausted and still recovering from her earlier injuries, demonstrates surprising courage and quick thinking. Together, they take cover behind jagged rocks, preparing for the inevitable confrontation. The tension is palpable, each heartbeat echoing the high stakes of the moment. The canyon walls amplify every sound, the hoofbeats of horses, the whispers of wind, the faint rattle of a weapon, creating an atmosphere charged with anticipation and fear. The attackers, masked riders working for a corrupt land baron, are intent on reclaiming the letters and silencing Evelyn permanently. They move strategically, attempting to corral Jack and Evelyn into a confined area where escape seems impossible. The confrontation quickly escalates into a gunfight, with bullets ricocheting off rocks and dust filling the canyon, stinging the eyes of both pursuers and fugitives. Jack's skill with firearms, honed by years of survival in the harsh desert, allows him to hold his ground while simultaneously directing Evelyn to safety. Her resourcefulness emerges as she improvises, creating distractions, signaling Jack and helping him stay alert to the attacker's movements. Amid the chaos, Evelyn reveals a crucial piece of information. Some of the letters or fragments of them are hidden in a secret location, knowledge that could either save them or doom them if discovered. This revelation adds urgency to the confrontation, raising the stakes beyond mere survival. Every shot fired, every decision made, could determine not only their lives, but also the fate of secrets that hold the potential to expose powerful figures in the region. The ambush becomes a turning point in their journey, a moment where courage, strategy, and trust are tested to their limits. Despite injuries and exhaustion, Jack and Evelyn manage a narrow escape, utilizing the canyon's twists and turns to their advantage. The attackers are forced to retreat, but the encounter leaves its mark. Jack is wounded and Evelyn's morale is shaken, yet their bond is strengthened by shared danger. This ambush emphasizes the relentless nature of their pursuers and the high stakes surrounding the burned letters, reinforcing the idea that their journey is not just physical, but deeply entwined with moral and historical consequences. By the end of Part 6, the story has reached a climactic moment of suspense and action. The ambush solidifies the central conflict, the pursuit of truth versus the forces seeking to suppress it. Jack and Evelyn, having survived through skill, courage, and trust, now face a critical choice: continue the dangerous pursuit of the letter's secrets or risk losing everything. The tension sets the stage for the revelations and moral reckonings that will unfold in the next part of the story. Following their harrowing escape from the ambush, Jack Malone and Evelyn Hart find a temporary refuge in a remote canyon hideout. The adrenaline from the confrontation slowly subsides, giving way to a quieter, more reflective tension. Here, Evelyn begins to piece together the full story of the elusive Apache lover, whose letters and secrets have driven the deadly pursuit that has defined their journey. This part shifts from immediate survival to uncovering the moral and emotional truths hidden in the past, revealing the depth of the mystery and the stakes involved. Evelyn's memories come alive as she recalls her first encounters with the Apache lover. He was not merely a criminal or an outlaw. He was a man shaped by tragedy, forced into a life of rebellion to seek justice for his people. Betrayed by settlers who stole land from the Apache community and abandoned by government authorities who turned a blind eye to injustice, he became both a vigilante and a symbol of resistance. His letters, which Evelyn had carefully preserved, documented a life torn between love, duty, and vengeance. They were intimate confessions to her, but also warnings and testimonies of crimes that the powerful sought to hide. The burned letters had destroyed much, but Evelyn's recollections allow the fragments of his story to emerge in vivid detail. Jack listens intently, absorbing not only the factual information but the emotional resonance of the story. The Apache lover had risked everything for love and for justice, walking a line between right and wrong that defies simple judgment. Evelyn recounts moments of his courage and moral complexity, rescues of innocents, confrontations with corrupt authorities, and attempts to reveal the truth through the letters. Yet, the sea lover was also ruthless when necessary, capable of actions that challenged traditional morality, demonstrating the dangerous intersection of love, vengeance, and survival in a lawless land. These revelations give Jack a profound understanding of why Evelyn was targeted and why the letters were so valuable and dangerous. As Evelyn speaks, she realizes the weight of the knowledge she carries. She holds not just the story of a man she once loved or admired, but evidence that could expose corruption, criminality, and betrayal that spans communities and generations. The decision before her is immense: to reveal the secrets and risk further bloodshed, or to bury the truth and preserve the fragile peace. Jack supports her, providing perspective and reassurance, emphasizing that courage often involves making choices where consequences are uncertain, but inaction can be equally dangerous. This part also deepens the emotional connection between Jack and Evelyn. They are no longer just companions on the run. They are partners in confronting a morally complex history, united by trust, shared danger, and a commitment to truth. Their bond grows through understanding and mutual respect, tempered by the weight of responsibility. By the end of Part 7, the full significance of the Apache lover is revealed, a man of passion, principle, and vengeance whose life and letters shape the moral landscape of the story. Evelyn now possesses the knowledge and courage to act, while Jack must navigate the physical and ethical challenges that remain. The stage is set for the climax, where decisions will have far-reaching consequences, and where the ultimate reckoning for justice, love, and survival will unfold. The final part of the story, Justice and Farewell, brings Jack Malone and Evelyn Hart to the culmination of their journey, a moment where the threads of danger, mystery, and moral reckoning converge. After surviving ambush, unraveling fragments of burned letters, and uncovering the truth about the enigmatic Apache lover, they are poised to confront both the consequences of the secrets they carry and the choices they must make in the present. Jack and Evelyn, having followed the clues and pieced together the history of the letters, reach a small, isolated town where the final act of revelation will take place. The town is quiet, seemingly untouched by the violence that has pursued them across the desert, yet beneath the calm exterior lies a network of corruption that the burned letters were meant to expose. Evelyn, now more composed and resolute, understands the stakes. Revealing the truth could bring justice to the victims of past crimes, but might also endanger innocent lives if the wrong people react violently. Jack stands beside her, prepared to protect her, and together they formulate a careful plan to reveal the evidence publicly, ensuring witnesses and support are present. The climax unfolds with Evelyn presenting the surviving fragments of the letters and her first-hand testimony to the town's authorities and gathered townspeople. She recounts the story of the Apache lover, his acts of courage and justice, his love for her, and the betrayal and corruption that forced him into secrecy. The burned letters, while incomplete, are compelling enough to illuminate a network of deceit and crimes orchestrated by the corrupt land baron and his associates. As the townspeople absorb the revelations, outrage spreads. The land baron, exposed and powerless against the weight of truth, is arrested along with his key accomplices. Justice is served, though the path to this resolution has been perilous and costly. Amid the triumph, there is also reflection and emotional reckoning. Evelyn is forever changed by her ordeal. She has survived physical danger, emotional trauma, and the burden of carrying someone else's secrets. Jack, too, has been transformed not only by the perilous journey but by his growing connection to Evelyn, which has awakened a part of him long dormant, the capacity for trust, attachment, and emotional vulnerability. Their bond, forged through shared danger and moral struggle, is deep and undeniable. Yet, the story's resolution carries a bittersweet quality. Jack, true to his solitary nature, knows that his path lies in wandering once more, untethered by settlements or attachments. Evelyn, strengthened and resolute, remains in the town to help rebuild, ensuring the legacy of the Apache lover is honored and the truth preserved. The farewell between them is poignant. There is no dramatic declaration of love or protest, only a quiet, mutual acknowledgement of the journey they have shared and the transformation they have inspired in one another. Jack rides off into the horizon, his silhouette merging with the desert landscape, while Evelyn watches, a mixture of sadness and gratitude in her eyes. The story closes with a sense of completion, yet lingering mystery. Justice has been achieved. Truths have been revealed, and both characters carry forward lessons of courage, morality, and resilience. Part 8 serves as the story's emotional and moral resolution, tying together the suspense, mystery, and character development of the previous chapters. It emphasizes that while justice can be served and secrets unveiled, the human experiences of love, loss, and transformation continue beyond the final confrontation. The narrative ends on a note of reflective closure, leaving readers with both satisfaction and a poignant sense of life's ongoing journey.